Kayfabe Avenue.
Justifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream rise to the top. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, heels and faces, casual wrestling fans, and all you smart marks, I'm Richie Moon,
And I'm Kayfabe AJ.
and this is Kayfabe Avenue, and we are here for our top five of 2023. We got a list at this point. I think we have like five top fives at this point.
Yeah.
We are talking about the top five men's champions of the year, and there's been a lot of great champions. We got some honorable mentions. We've had some great runs, some historical runs, some breakout runs, some runs that have elevated some championships. We got some new champions. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into this. But my bad. Apologies. Before we get Kayfabe Avenue on all your podcasts, wherever you listen to, make sure to listen, make sure to watch. And let's get into this list.
All right. So at number 5, we have Seth freaking Rollins. And I know what a lot of people probably thinking with us saying he's at number 5. But going into this championship run, a lot of people felt, and I disagree with this at this from the beginning and at this point still, that Seth Rollins championship was a consolation championship because Roman Reigns has all the titles and is has a different schedule than everyone else. But
the WCC is what I call it.
I disagree with the fact that it was a consolation belt. We had a little tournament to decide who actually won it. It was a situation where they already gave the new version of the WWE Championship to Roman, so he already had that walking around with. So I think it was a matter of being able to get that workhorse champion back into the company while still being able to solidify Roman's reign and his, dominant reign that it is, while still having a champion to look forward to every week. So I think not only did he solidify a brand new championship, but he also, I think, extended his legacy in a time where he could have been getting stale. And arguably, people do feel like, the Joker thing is getting a little stale, but no one's gonna deny they're not gonna sing his theme song, whether you love him or hate him.
Right.
He's elevated people in his run. We mentioned Finn Balor in the previous top 5. Check it out. But we also mentioned that we almost believed that he would beat Seth. So that was kind of crazy. Also, his fight with Shinsuke, among others.
Yeah.
So
I think that's been the cool thing about Seth's run is that some of his matches you think, okay, he's gonna lose. I actually wanted him to lose to Drew, but seeing how things have turned out now, I'm glad that he did. I think that was the right call to keep it on Seth. I mean, I always give Seth shit. I say that this is the World Constellation Championship. You can never deny Seth Rollins in reign. A part of me do feel like it is kind of the case still. Stand on that hill, but I feel like that than it ever has in the history of the championship, in the history of this lineage, of a short lineage. I feel like right now it feels bigger than it's ever has. That's part due to Rollins, part due to CM Punk, part due getting into WrestleMania season and all the things that could possibly happen. But you can't deny it. Seth Rollins is a good champion, and I feel like he's about to turn heel again. And I feel like heel Seth Rollins is the best Seth Rollins. So, we'll see. We'll see. I didn't agree with Seth Rollins being on the top 5 list, just for the record. But you know, like we said, we debate this, we bring a point, and if you get your point across, then you get your guy in. So
Yeah. So Seth Rollins, number 5, top 5 champions. Moving on the list, we're gonna jump over to AEW, where the number 4 top 5 champion of the year is Orange Cassidy.
I mean, I think he had 30 title defenses. I don't know if it's specifically 30. I can say for sure it was over 20 title defenses. I really love the story of Orange Cassidy's week by week. His body is just breaking down more and more. So he has to find new ways to beat people. He elevated this international championship, which kind of felt like an afterthought until he really took it and he just ran with it. The orange one just ran with it and just had defense week after week after week against different opponents, different styles, and it was amazing.
In a world
And
where AEW has a bunch of championships,
he made it stand out.
possibly, arguably too many,
Definitely too many.
he definitely made it feel special. And that's one of
Yeah.
the biggest criteria um of the top 5 champions. Did it
Yes.
feel special? The impact that it's having. And honestly, before Orange Cassidy, people were like, "Ooh, nice title," but who
It just didn't feel
cared?
special.
You know, like
Yeah.
who really cared?
I love Pac, but Pac didn't really make it feel special. But once Orange Cassidy won that belt and he started going on that run, like you said, it elevated it and made it feel important. And now the international championship is one of the most important championships in AEW. So yeah, that's a criteria for getting in.
Yep. So um let's continue on that line of making it feel special. We're gonna go to the number 3 top 5 champion of 2023, which is Gunta.
Ooh, I
And
mean, you know,
he's breaking records, literally. He's
he is the
now
longest.
officially the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time,
Yeah,
overtaking the Honky Tonk Man,
yeah,
overtaking Pedro Morales.
yeah.
Um, you know, what can we say about Gunther? Like, he has to
It's a
be
great
the
general.
most, he has to be the most believable
Dominant.
wrestler, the most dominating wrestler that is active week to week
Yeah,
in almost any promotion. I'd argue for.
he's the ring general. You
Not
know,
only
he's a ring
that,
general for a
he's
reason.
elevated people like Gable. He's brought people back into the limelight like the Miz, who arguably doesn't need, but we got to see another side of Miz. Um,
I mean, he didn't do this, but the rivalry called for a babyface Miz, and it got over. So I mean, it's
that I
doing something right.
his match versus Miz, while I was watching it, I was saying, this is gave me the feeling of Rock versus Hogan, not the magnitude of the stardom of it, but the fact that the Miz was doing heel things and we couldn't help but still cheer
Right.
because people hated the bully like tactics that Gunther was doing to the Miz. So while he was still getting low blows and trying to use the ropes and do all this, the fans were still behind him for all of it. It felt like a Eddie Guerrero Lai Chi Steel moment again.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
it that's what made, his feud with Miz special. On top of the promo work that excuse me, I was gonna say Walter Gunther, does himself. He's
right.
improved on the promo game crazy. So definitely deserved to be on this list. Arguably could have been higher, but at number 3, Gunther.
Gunther, yep. Gunther definitely.
And
I mean,
then you got anything else to say?
I don't really have anything else to say. I mean, Yeah, you pretty much said it all. The longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time has great matches. The ring general, the mat is sacred. I'm sure next year around this time he might be he might be a world champion. Who
And
knows, man?
still running
Who knows?
one of the longest going stables in WWE too. Imperium's been around for a while.
Stop trying to break up Imperium, Hunter. Stop it. I
That
see you.
what?
Stop trying to break up Imperium. There's a
Oh
storyline
yeah,
going on.
yeah. Yeah, I don't want
Just
to see
stop
it.
it. Just
I don't
stop
want to
it.
see it.
Stop it. Right. Stop
So
it.
moving on to number two, and
Oh,
some people might be
oh,
surprised that he's even this low.
whatever. Okay.
Because we all know that he's the ones, and we gotta
Mm,
acknowledge the tribal chief, the longest reigning undisputed champion of this era, beating records, 200 or less days away from beating Hogan's record, beat well, no, excuse me, not Bruno, not yet.
no.
Beat Pedro Morales' run, beat Bob Backlund's run, I believe,
He's at 1,200 days.
1,200 plus days.
1,200.
And whether people love it or hate it, and the fact that he's only wrestled 13, maybe 12, 13 times in the year of 2023, every time he shows up, he's a needle mover. The storylines that go in and out and weave in and out of the bloodline story of his title run, the people that have stepped up, elevating LA Knight in just one match. That promo with LA Knight, elevating LA Knight in a single promo. You know, just the multitude of people that we're excited at this point to see him possibly lose to, but he continues this dominant run. Roman Reigns, your tribal chief, by the way, Rich. you could you could look like that, but he's your tribal chief,
I
Roman
mean,
Reigns, and I know you
listen,
argued against this,
listen, listen,
or at
listen,
least wanted him to be lower.
listen. There is no reason why this guy should be number two on this, okay? He's had 11 matches this year, but personal bias aside, this list is about this list is about the prestige of the champion. This list is about history. This list is about moving needles. And there's nobody in all of wrestling, maybe arguably one, and we shall talk about him on another list that gets more people talking than Roman Reigns. And so, I mean, he deserves it, but I'm tired of the I'm just tired of the long breaks. Every time he comes back, it's a tribal chief is coming back with a promo package for him coming back because he leaves for so long in between. But I get it. It makes him feel even bigger every time he does come back. Ratings do go up. The merch is still there. You know, this is going to be like his fourth WrestleMania in a row that he's headlining, the biggest WrestleManias of all time, by the way.
Yeah.
Our tribal chief. But you know, if he could wrap this up or show up just a little bit more, then yeah, at this point, it's not even showing up a little bit more. It's time to wrap this up, and that's okay. It's okay. That is wrong.
Paul Heyman said we're only in the third inning a few months ago, so by now we're
Whatever.
probably in like the sixth, seventh inning. We're only in the sixth, seventh inning.
I totally think they were BSing. I totally think they were BSing that one. To be honest with you. I really think they were BSing that. They
Such
just
good
needed
shit.
something. Right. Oh,
Let's move on from acknowledging the tribal chief Roman Reigns, and let's talk about this number one top champion of the year. Somebody that honestly fucking deserves it. He has the entire company on his back. He not only became the face of the company, but is out there in the media now. You could see him, hopefully, from what I'm hearing, they might have cut him out, but you might see him
No,
in
he's in.
Iron Claw,
No, he's in the movie.
um, coming out next week, Friday the 22nd. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, everyone's favorite scumbag. Why is he number one?
Maxwell Jacob Freeman is number one because he's better than you and you know it. But besides that, I mean, the year that he's had, like you said, he's the face of the company. He is turned over baby face, which nobody thought would happen. The entire company is revolved around him. Now, it's not about comparison, but like I just for comparison contrast purposes, AEW is centered around MJF. All the major storylines go around him. He's the main event. He is the world champion. And Roman is at the point where he is the final boss. So everybody is fighting to get to Roman. And with that happens, Roman is not necessarily needed for for great matches, great main events, for needles to be moved. So the reason why MJF gets the number one is because he is the reason why all that is happening, because everything is centered around him. And you just look at the match quality he's had. MJF has really had no misses in his title run with the match quality. Well, except for Jay White. And that's just the ending of it because it was super
The
overbooked.
overbooked. That's
But
the
other than
worst
that,
overbooked match of
it,
the year.
it was, oh my gosh, how can a one actually won an asking contest? How about that? One man in the leg actually won an asking contest. But other than that, MJF had the pro work, the storylines,
Storyline.
the ring quality, the elevating are probably going to spill out. Honestly, that could possibly spill out for maybe the next year. MJF, he got it. I think MJF really got
Not
it.
only that, above everything you said, he got over the kangaroo kick.
Got over the kangaroo kick. Less is more. That's one. That's one thing that MJF and Roman Reigns really have in common. Less is more. Less is definitely more. Roman Reigns does not do a lot in his matches. He talks his trash. It's slow. It's methodical. He spam the
Storytelling.
finishers.
It's
Doesn't do
storytelling.
much.
And that's why,
Storytelling.
he has Roman Reigns, regardless if he's not in the week in and week out, Roman Reigns has to be mentioned because, accolade aside, you know, what he's doing in the match, the storytelling he's doing in his match, the subtle ways of storytelling, gestures, facial expression, outright promo in the middle of the match. It's feels like a movie you're watching every time you're watching a Roman Reigns match, as compared to most matches, which is like, uh, you know, attack, lock up, spot, spot.
Yeah.
Roman is like, you're gonna get slow, you're gonna squeeze the juice out of everything out of this match.
Right.
Um, so you have to put him on the list, but MJF is doing that day in and day out right now.
Right.
Multiple
Right.
divisions.
Oh,
His friendship with Adam Cole's taking over the, AEW's
right.
television, the majority of the storyline, and so for the most part, everything has been enjoyable. This devil
Yeah.
storyline that's spawning out of, the situation with him and Cole. We don't know who they are. Who's the mastermind? Could it be Cole? Could it be MJF? Could it be someone else? That's
Right.
been going on for a long time. When you mention, storyline spinning out of what he's doing that can last another year, possibly year and a half. Um, MGF, I definitely that bidding war is gonna happen.
No, it's
That
actually not. He's already resigned.
he's
MJF
already
already resigned.
resigned. Then that was the
MJF
smartest thing. And that was the smartest thing Tony's done all year.
MJF is going to be with AEW for the long run. MJF is going to be with AEW until like 2027.
Yeah.
But
So
MJF is only MJF is only 27. So MJF has a long career ahead of him to, God forbid, no major injuries. He has a long career in front of him where he has time to, see if the grass is green on the other side if he would like. So,
yeah,
I think I MJF he's been the guy. He's been the guy. He's the centerpiece of the company.
that's the
He's been having the
smartest thing
best
that
matches, the
that
best
Tony
fucking
Khan
roster.
has done. Get locking him in Jeff
Yeah.
because
Now,
literally he's carrying that company on his back right now. Um,
right, with all the
and
controversy that happened with them and all
all
the
the
injuries
controversy, the decline in
and injuries.
attendance, the decline in views, even though they see a couple rebounds every once in a while. They've been seeing a couple rebounds specifically in the last week, which is good and hopeful for them. We don't want to see AEW crumble. We want to see it get better. And MJF definitely proved that he's one of those things, especially homegrown, which is the
Yeah.
most special thing about him. It's not from WWE, it hasn't been done before. We didn't see this in another place and hope it was the greatest shit. No, we saw it naturally evolve. We saw MJF naturally evolve in AEW. So they got something special. Deserve number one. I think we unanimously agreed on that
Yes.
for
Yes.
this. So yeah, MJF top five at number one. Number one champion of 2023. So anything final to say about MJF before we wrap this up?
MJF's reign will come to an end in 2024, and he will lose to Swerve Strickland,
I hope that pans out.
who will be revealed as the devil.
I hope that pans out too. With that being said, this is Kayfabe Avenue. I've been Kayfabe AJ. That's Mr. Richie Moon. You can find us on all streaming platforms, wherever you hear your podcasts, or at Kayfabe Avenue. And with that said, watch our next top five coming out. Kenny, take us home.
And good.